Hey, good evening, guys. October 8th, 2011. God bless you. Anyway, I am doing a video, and I come across something, and I've been kind of digging at it for a while now, on and off when I can. And it's been on my mind at times I wasn't digging, but I wanted to do a video on this just to kind of point out all these very strange coincidences. And you know how I am, guys. I'm pretty insightful. I do insightful videos. And I'm very big with trying to decipher the Illuminati and their taunts in movies and movie trailers. You guys have seen my videos on this. Well, stick with me here. I have some images I want to show you, and I want to talk to you. And it has something to do with the movie Contagion and an image you're looking at right here. If you pause this video, I have this movie. This is the Contagion clip here. I have it now. If you watch it on my channel, or you can watch it anywhere, but I have it featured on my channel, the HD trailer in 1080p. If you fast forward and pause it at a minute 49 seconds, you'll come up to this screen here. Now, if you're watching the trailer normal speed, it kind of flips through this image pretty quick, but I paused it and I watched this, and I wanted to see this and study this. Now the purpose, now I'm not trying to say that, say anything bad about Ron Paul or anything like that, but the reason why I'm bringing him up is that don't this picture kind of look like Ron Paul a little bit to you? I mean, you tell me. Now, I'm not saying that he's specifically behind anything. I'm just saying, actually, what I actually think is that this is Ron Paul, that the elite are trying to run a smear campaign against Ron Paul. Because you notice the movie just came out. The elections come out, are starting in November. This movie just came out. Right now I'm hearing that he's leading a lot of the polls. And I'm actually a Ron Paul supporter. I support Ron Paul, Jesse Van Tor, I mean, all those guys that speak the truth. But I just want you to know, this kind of looks like Ron Paul a little bit. And it's got the word prophet. Like they're trying to tag a degrading image to Ron Paul. Like they're trying to smear him. Remember, it's in the movie The Bird Flu with the Contagion. We all know what that's about. Now, I've been trying to study this. My wife and I are trying to look at this. And I'm coming across, what we found out is if you read this here, look at these posters. You see them postered all over the place. Okay, now there's another image in the movie. It's not in the trailer. It shows the same Ron Paul, or whatever if these are Ron Paul. These posters of this man says prophet, prophet, spelled two different ways. There's another image of this in the movie, or clip of this in the movie. It doesn't show these posters here, these white posters. But for this sake in the trailer, I'm going to tell you what these say. America keeps the truth about the bird pandemic. That's exactly, you can see it up here, about pandemic, about the word the bird. You can see a B up there. I've studied this. Again, America keeps the truth about the bird pandemic. And then you got it circled here, no lies. No lies, I guess that's the people. Don't want lies. America keeps the truth about the bird pandemic. Now you can take that for what you think it may mean. Okay, you see Ron Paul's image. Are they trying to smear Ron Paul? And they are obviously trying to say that if they create a scare, a pandemic scare, it means big profits. Just like it did for Donald Rumsfeld during the 2005 bird flu scare that we had around that time, from what I've been reading up on. Donald Rumsfeld, before he became a Secretary of Defense for the Bush administration, he was the owner, and I have it right here. Not there. Right here. Just prior to Donald Rumsfeld becoming our Secretary of Defense, he was the chairman of the board of Gilead Sciences, the company that created Tamiflu. Tamiflu is a vaccine-making company. Rumsfeld and his associates seem to be as ineffective, as the article is saying here, at fighting viruses as they are fighting terrorists. But it doesn't stop him from making money. Now, it just goes on to say that Rumsfeld here, Tamiflu, as the research shows, that it will reduce a person's symptoms of the flu by 1 day. But isn't that worth the $1 billion that the President Bush proposed in 2006 in a State of the Union address? If you go back and listen to that, you can find it. Now, also the fact is that Donald Rumsfeld made a clear $1 million. His stock went through the roof during that scare. He was about to ditch his stock. His friends or associates recommended to him to hold on to his stock so it doesn't look too obvious like he was trying to, like, insider trading or something. So he kept his stock, and he made a clear $1 million from that scare. Now let's go back to this image again. Ron Paul, it looks like Ron Paul. He's leading in the polls. Okay, is this a clear sign that he may very well be chosen to be president? He may win the election. I don't think that that Obama's going to win the next election, is my opinion. But again, this sign here says, America keeps the truth about the bird pandemic. No lies. Okay? I don't know exactly what they're trying to say here and taunt us about, but if you ask me right now at this point, I think that they're trying to generate a scare campaign and a smear campaign to create vaccines. So these big companies, these virus, these vaccine companies like Tamiflu make a lot of money from a potential scare, and in turn, these big wigs like Rumsfeld, and you also got other guys like George Shultz. Okay, all these guys that own stock in these companies are going to make big money. Now, isn't this the reason why protesters are out in the streets? Because these big, corrupt idiots are out there making a profit off of scaring innocent American citizens? Now, look at this article here. This article's dated in February 2008. Indonesia health minister accuses U.S. of bird flu bioweapon conspiracy. The new book endorsed by their president accuses U.S. government of seeking monopoly to make vast profits and potentially wage warfare. Profits. Do you see the word profit? Are you starting to see a connection? Indonesia health minister has implicated the U.S. government in an international conspiracy to develop the bird flu virus into a deadly bioweapon, in a new book which is also endorsed by Indonesia's president. Indonesia has been worst hit by the bird flu virus dating back in 2008, with 11 people having died from contracting H5N1 this year. Indonesia's variant strain of H5N1 gave the country bargaining power, according to Indonesia's health minister, and her new book called It's Time for the World to Change, and is strangely subtitled The Divine Hand Behind Avian Influenza. Okay, so then it goes on to say in the book, she accuses the U.S. government of seeking a monopoly on controlling the virus for two reasons. First, to be able to dominate the vaccine market. Okay, dominate the vaccine market. Big money, big profits for these big wigs like Donald Rumsfeld. Make vast profits from providing the cure. And secondly, to potentially develop the strain into a potent biological weapon. Now, remember the chemical incident response teams showing up in New York City? They actually have a location in New York. You can look at one of my videos. I'm not sure if there's a connection there or not, but I just wanted to bring it up. These concerns led to Indonesia holding the sharing of virus samples with the World Health Organization in late 2006. After she accused the Australian government of sharing, let me get rid of this ad, Indonesia of stealing Indonesia's strain of H5N1 to make bird flu vaccines. Now, she was also alarmed at the fact that the World Health Organization shared samples with the United States National Laboratory in Los Alamos, New Mexico, where nuclear weapons are developed. Whether they use it to make vaccine or develop chemical weapons would depend on the need and interest of the U.S. government. A need, profit. Are they hurting right now financially? Yes. So they are possibly trying to come up with a way to create big profit. And one way is a big influenza scare, or a big bird flu scare. Now, I just did a video on the U.S. ordering 44 plus million anthrax vaccines, okay, which is creating big profit for somebody. It is indeed a very dangerous situation for the destiny of humanity. She writes and goes on to say it is a matter of choice whether to use the material for vaccines or biological weapon development. Okay, now let's go back to Ron Paul. Again, in the movie Contagion, America keeps the truth about the bird pandemic. No lies. Now, I don't know if the normal person, anybody really took the time to study what these posters say, but it is quite alarming. And you look at this, and you got Ron Paul, profit. To me, again, this is a smear campaign against Ron Paul, trying to subliminally, when you're watching this movie, vote against Ron Paul, to smear Ron Paul, because maybe the government's afraid of him getting in power, or the elite, are trying to curtail votes, or keep votes away from Ron Paul's side. Anyway, folks, I got more coming on this, and believe me, I'm going to share more with you as I dig deeper. But this article here is called naturalnews.com. How to create your own pandemic, infectious creativity used by big pharmaceuticals companies, okay? And again, this implicates Donald Rumsfeld in this article as being, before the Secretary of Defense, he was a chairman of the board of Gilead Sciences, where he made $1 million. $1 million, folks, and it says it right down here, too. Rumsfeld. Okay, now listen to this. Rumsfeld had the Pentagon's General Counsel issue instructions on what he could and could not do in the event of a pandemic, according to the report. It's made the Pentagon chief, already one of the wealthiest members of the Bush cabinet back then, okay, at least $1 million richer in late October, and I believe this would have been in 08 or 06, at the time he was in the Bush cabinet. Now, I also want to read something to you that President Bush clearly said back then, that I'm sure it's trickled over to our current president. But right here, President Bush has publicly stated, okay, in his intention to use the military to impose quarantine zones and martial law in the event of a bird flu outbreak in America. During an October 05 White House press conference, Bush stated, if we had an outbreak somewhere in the U.S., do we not then quarantine that part of the country? And how do we then enforce a quarantine? When it's one thing to shut down airlines, it's another thing to prevent people from coming in to get exposed to avian flu. And the best way to be able to effect a quarantine, one option is the use of a military that's able to plan and move. I'm going to have more on this, guys, in about 12 minutes. God bless you all.